Hello, hello, hello. Am I live? Just want to make sure everything is working. The technical stuff. Okay, it's live on Facebook and it's live. I want to make sure it's live on LinkedIn. Okay, I think it's working. Don't want to have any technical issues. I, okay, hold on a second. Just wanted to double check. Make sure. Oh, where is it? Okay, give me a. Bear with me for 1 second. Where's the events? Happening now. Okay, here we go. Happy Wednesday. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining this master class. This master class is from checking boxes to living aligned. Find purpose in what you do. If you are currently constantly doing all the right things, you checked all the boxes, you climbed the corporate ladder, but somehow you just feel really tired and also felt never enough. And you hit one goal and immediately chase the next goal. You don't even stop for a second to appreciate it because you're just constantly thinking about achieving more. You're also achieving a lot, but you don't feel fulfilled. This deep sense of satisfaction is not because you're not doing enough. You are doing plenty. It's because you are performing, not living with purpose. It's not because you're doing, and also it's because you're doing what's expected. You're not doing what's aligned. And you may wonder, let me just clarify, what does it mean? What does it mean living with purpose and living and doing what's aligned with you? So in order to feel fulfilled, you need to feel like you're doing something with purpose, with meaning, and something deeply meaningful to you and matters to you. With that, it means you need to embody your unique gifts. So it's not what others expected of you. It's what's true coming from inside. So that's what it means to live aligned life, to live with purpose and feel this deep sense of fulfillment, is that embodying your unique gifts. And each one of us on each from this planet, we all have our unique gifts. And I'm going to talk more about that later, but here just want to kind of set a stage on what does this mean, to clarify the definition of that. So if you're not feeling that way yet, you are not alone, and there's nothing wrong with you, and you're in the right place to change it, and you took the first step today to move towards that direction. And I want to acknowledge you for showing up in this masterclass and showing up for yourself. This seems like just 1 hour investment, and it's a gigantic step toward your aligned life. And you may have tried, right? Because you may have felt this feeling for a while, and you may have tried, you know what, hustle even harder, doing even more, achieving even more, because you probably think, maybe next promotion, next role, next success, and next achievement will give me the fulfillment I'm looking for. It doesn't come from that. It doesn't come from doing more. And the other one is, you may already know what are your unique gifts and this sense of purpose you already know, but you're postponing it. You're waiting. You're waiting for the right moment to do it. You're like, wait till you are ready, you have enough money, have enough time, have enough bandwidth, then you can pursue it. But also, that's a fallacy, because this day probably will never come if you just keep waiting. And today I'm going to teach you a process. Really, this process starts inside out. It's not about what is available outside waiting for, right? The perfect time, perfect, amount of money, all of that. No, it's an inside out process. And it's about how to regulate your nervous system, how to in tune, how to investigate, understand what your unique gifts are, and start taking action now, but small step. So this whole process, living with purpose, it's an embodied process. It's not analytical exercise. It's not a cognitive or intellectual process. It's an embodied process, and I'll give you more details in this class. Once you are able to really embody your gifts, living an aligned life, let me tell you, you are going to feel so differently. You're going to feel so much more alive. You're going to have more energy, better health, better relationships, more peace, joy, and fulfillment. How do I know? Because I lived through this process. I worked in corporate America for almost 20 years. And I achieved a lot. I climbed the ladder, right? Checked all the boxes. And by the end, I felt so empty. And no more a promotion, no more money could give me more. No. And that's when I started to look inward and started to make the changes I will be sharing with you today. And I felt so tired, so frustrated and drained at the end of work days. And I was living for the weekend. I was living for vacations. I desperately needed vacation once a quarter just to escape the day-to-day life, because the day-to-day life was truly felt like a grind. And today, I would say the life I'm living now is day and night. And I'm not saying everybody should become an entrepreneur. No, there's many other options. But for me, I chose this path. I chose to become a coach and entrepreneur. And this really has allowed me to embody my gifts, to live with my purpose and live an aligned life. Once I'm living this life, work truly doesn't feel like work anymore. And doing, for instance, this masterclass live streaming, I feel so excited to do it, because I want to share all this great knowledge that I have. But I remember back at work, doing presentation at work, I hated it. I dreaded it so much. But now, no, I've been planning for this for a few days. I was just like, I'm just like taking all the notes and trying to make sure I pack this in as much as possible. I just feel so energized to wake up each morning to do this work. I'm inspired to create and to positively impact other people and help others do the same. So all the classes I'm teaching, and especially this class, it's all from my lived experience. And I have built, transitioned and transformed the life from a life just feel successful on paper, but feeling empty inside to this life. Absolutely, as an entrepreneur, let me tell you, it's probably most challenging thing I have ever done. It's not easy at all, but I enjoy every minute of it and I build it. It didn't happen overnight. And I'll share you with you about my journey. It took years for me to transition. And I built it plank by plank, step by step, baby step. So I'll show you how to do that. And so where this class, for if it is an hour, I'm going to give you a lot of deep knowledge, but also practical tools that you can start using today. The key is, I'm not encouraging you to take this bold, gigantic leap. No, it's about starting. It's about begin this process. And because this is something a little bit sad, but it's so way too common. I work with high achieving professional women, executive women, and I coach so many of them. And when I asked, tell me a time that you felt most fulfilled in your work or life, and this question tend to be very challenging for a lot of those women, and including myself included when I started this journey. They couldn't find those moments. It was so hard. When I asked them, oh, tell me a time you had the most joy in your life or most, like proud of yourself, they could think of those moments. But when it comes to feeling fulfilled, many women struggle to answer that because you've been following the rules, you've been following the expectations, and because you are not connecting to the deep truth inside of you, and you're not embodying your unique gifts. When you are not, then you cannot feel fulfilled. And right, because then there's a misalignment. What you're doing outside versus how you're feeling inside. The deep sense of fulfillment and alignment comes from the truth inside aligns with how you show up in the world and how you do the day-to-day outside. And that's why you cannot feel fulfilled when you are living someone else's version of success. So this fulfillment has to come from the inner alignment. When you don't have that, you feel tired. You feel draining because it's life sucking. When inside, outside are misaligned, there's a lot of tension. And that's where stress comes from. When you have stress, then you feel tired. Then that's when probably you live for the weekends, live for the vacations, and you need escape. Also affects your health. When you have this constant chronic stress, it affects your health. That's why a lot of women develop autoimmune disease and have experience chronic pain or fatigue. Partially is because of that, this chronic stress, this chronic misalignment, and also affects your relationships. I remember I used to complain about my work every day after work, and my ex used to say, why you're so grumpy all the time, right? Just bring the grumpy energy home. And that affected him too. Imagine what affect your children as well. And think, well, anyhow, so it will affect everybody around you when you show up with this aliveness in you, then you will bring everybody up. But if you feel tired, frustrated, and grumpy, guess what? Even though you don't want to negatively affect people, you do. But that's not your fault. And this is because you've been conditioned. You've been conditioned to choose survival over fulfillment. It's not because you're weak. It's not because you're not courageous enough. It's because you don't feel safe. That's why now I'm going to introduce or give you a quick overview on this like critically important concept called nervous system. And this nervous system knowledge really has really changed my life and also taken my healing growth to the next level. I'm super excited and passionate about this because this nervous system, what is nervous system? Nervous system is the most important operating system in your whole body. It's subcortical, meaning that it's underneath the subconscious, underneath the thinking brain. It creates our whole human experience. It creates our thoughts, emotions, and actions. And this system, think of it as an internal surveillance system. The primary role is to keep you safe, is to keep you alive. It automatically scans the environment, scans your internal database, just ask this question constantly. Am I safe or am I in danger? That's all it cares. Just keep you alive. And how does it know whether you are safe or not? It's not just real danger. In now modern days, the type of life we're living, we don't really experience objective danger, right? We don't have wild, tigers, lions chase us on a day-to-day basis, or we don't have, fires breaking up out all the time. No, not real danger-wise. It's a very small percentage. So much is perceived danger, perceived threat. Where this perceived threat coming from? It's coming from our lived experiences. It's coming from our past experiences. All our past experiences are stored in the database of nervous system. So now, when you experience a current situation, present situation, then the threat detector called neuroception goes to the database and check, say, okay, this experience is reminded me of a past experience, similar experience, and doesn't have to be exact match, just need to be similar flavoring of that experience. And was that experience safe or not safe? If that experience was not safe, then the alarm goes off. Then it says this current situation is not safe either. Don't do it. This is critical information to know, because the reason why that you haven't been able to embody your gifts and stepping into your aligned life is because this aligned life, right? This is a life that you really feel purposeful and meaningful, somehow has cues of danger from the past, because it doesn't seem to be safe for your nervous system, even though you deeply desire it, but it's just so scary to do it. So what are the cues of danger for this particular situation in terms of stepping into your purpose? That there are five of them I have identified, very common five. So the first one is financial insecurity. Financial cues of danger because financial insecurity was not safe, wasn't safe, right? Financial insecurity, financially, it wasn't safe for you before. So now financial insecurity feels like a cue of danger. For instance, I know a lot of people have that, just this where the scarcity mindset comes from, right? Where it just feels like money, I may run out of money. What if I don't make enough money? What if I lose all this money, right? Just all this thought of not having enough money. Obviously, I do want everybody to be very financially responsible, and they are, right? Bills you need to pay, mortgage you need to pay, all of that, and kids to take care of. Absolutely. You do want to make sure that is being taken care of. But a lot of times we're beyond that. And we have plenty. And I knew at some point, right? Even now I have plenty. I don't have to work for years. I have plenty, but there's still moments that this fear comes up. It's like, what if I run out of money? But it's not reality. But because I grew up in an environment that I never had enough, never ever had enough. My parents both worked for state, or from China, right? I'm from China. State-owned enterprises, very meager salaries, struggle to make ends meet. They couldn't afford a lot of things that I wanted. So this deep financial insecurity was ingrained or conditioned into me. So not having enough felt dangerous. So that could be your experience as well. And this the fear of not having enough, right? This is a cue of danger. So that's why it's very hard to leave a stable job that pays you steady paycheck. That's one. The second one is this cue of danger is the fear of not being enough. It's lack of self-belief. You don't believe that I'm smart enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not capable enough to pursue this thing. And this is also not your fault, because if you grew up in an environment that your caretakers didn't believe that you are unique and you have your unique gifts wholeheartedly, and also really telling you that, reinforce that into you, and then you don't have that. And that's where the lack of self-belief comes from. That's also was my experience. I grew up in an environment that my parents rarely praised me, was always focused on what I could do better, always compared me to the kids who were better than me, especially academically. And that just gave me this sense of deep inadequacy. Even though I was smart, I was a very good student, but somehow I still felt I wasn't good enough. I wasn't smart enough. And when it comes to embrace new challenges or go explore new things, I always felt like, oh, maybe I'm not capable enough. Right? That's the second one. This cue of danger is like, oh, when I'm trying something new, I'm not being good enough. So that's the second fear. The third fear is fear of unknown, because change felt dangerous before. Change was not safe. You may have grown up in an environment that is just not as steady, right? You did not have a very safe and steady home base. When some people grew up in that kind of environment, like they grow up to be a great risk takers, because they know if they fail, if something happens, they always have a home base to go. But if you grew up in an environment that was not emotionally safe in some ways, then the change felt very dangerous. It's like, what if, right? What if I fell? What if something didn't plan out? Like, what gonna happen, right? There's not nobody out, nobody can. There's no safety net, and that was also my experience too. So that's the third one, the fear of unknown. Change feels dangerous. The next one is a really interesting one. It's the fear of almost like of calm. It's somehow you're wired for chaos. I know this doesn't sound right. I was like, really? I'm wired for chaos? Yes. Yes, some of us are. Because the work environment you choose mirrors your childhood environment. If you grew up in chaos, in a family that is a little bit unpredictable, right? You don't know how, this is just using my experience. My parents are, they were under a lot of stress. And I didn't know when I come home what kind of parents I would get, right? Would I get a parent with good mood? Okay, everything will be fine. If I come home with my parents were in bad mood, okay, I better behave. Otherwise, a small thing can get me into trouble, right? In that kind of environment, also the very high, very demanding, always expect very high expectations, always expects me to do things certain way. So in that kind of environment, I learned to adapt to stress. So calm feels very unfamiliar and even boring. So when it comes to that, I became someone were drawn to chaotic and demanding jobs. 20 years of corporate life, I realized every single job of mine was pretty chaotic. And I had a lot of toxic bosses. It's because sometimes I chose to be in that environment because I was comfortable in that kind of environment, even though I didn't like it. But I knew how to not only survive, but also thrive in that kind of stress. That's how our nervous system works. I know it feels weird, counterintuitive. So you may have some similar experience as well. So then with that, you stay too long in the environment that drains you. Because when it comes to a life that is aligned, it's calm, it's peaceful, there's not much drama. Yeah, there are challenges, but there's not much of drama going on. So if you're not familiar with that, then it's deeply uncomfortable. You're like, oh, this is not for me, right? But actually that's not true. So that's the first one. The last one is the fear of like disapproval, because I know some of you already knew you already knew your gifts probably at a pretty young age, but you were disencouraged from embodying your gifts because your gifts is not necessarily considered as a viable, financially viable or successful path. I grew up in China. I remember back then, right? In order to be successful, it's all about pursuing either in business or in engineering. Like if you want to be an artist, if you want to be a writer or be a dancer, like no, right? Parents wouldn't allow kids to pursue those type of path because they believe in how you're going to pay your bill, right? Even in the US today, I think still a lot of parents hold that view. So you have your gifts, you already know your gifts, but you were disencouraged from embodying your gifts. And then that become a fear, right? Fear of disapproval. So because all of that, you haven't been able to really step into the life that feels aligned with you. And as I said, you really need to step into your gifts, embodying your gifts, and to feel purposeful, not just productive. And you want to use your gifts because your gifts are uniquely yours. And that's why you come to this earth for. And you may wonder, what do you mean by me unique gifts? Truly unique gifts is do the things that light you up. and make your soul sing and make you feel energized, creative, and alive. When you do that, you have better health because you have less stress, better relationships, you feel more fulfilling, and you don't feel drained anymore. And I know that you may have kids to raise, and there's a lot of family resources. If you want to really step into your aligned life, you need to devote time, energy, and family resources to help you to step into this aligned life. Some people feel, oh, this is selfish, I could not do that, I cannot afford that. No, this is what not good, no. But you really think about, this is the best gift you can give to your loved ones, and this is the best gift you can give it, especially to your children. Why? Because how you show up, even though you don't subconsciously, the energy impacting people around you, and then and they seeing you as role model. Let me give you an example. It's a very simple example. We all have experienced that. Let's say if you go to a restaurant, right? There's two different waiters. There's one waiter, you just can feel this waiter really doesn't want to be there. And he barely even makes eye contact with you, and just like very short, just to get the order, right? And just go. This negative energy. You can feel it. And this type of waiter really creates a negative dining experience for you. But there's another waiter just completely loved what they do, and they describe the food in such a rich way, and they genuinely care about you, right? Just asking you how you like the food and trying to take care of your needs. Just that simple interaction, you can feel two very different energies. Someone who just really doesn't want to be there, and someone who's embodying their gift and their purpose. And you can feel it, and it can impact your experience. Imagine that for you, how you're impacting your family, how you're impacting your children. If you're someone, right, who's doing something you're not truly enjoy, and come home feeling tired and drained and grumpy, even though you don't want to have a negative impact on your children, and you do. But if you are able to show up with this aliveness and show up with just this energy, and your children can feel it, and they also see you as a role model. They see, oh, it's possible. Oh my gosh, I can do this too when I grow up. And what a great head start for your children, because I never witnessed that when I was younger. Both of my parents hated their job, and with just seeing them suffering, and made me feel, oh, that I guess was supposed to be, right? Work is supposed to be suffering. But no, right? It took me decades to figure this out. But you can be the role model for your children and for people around you. So as I mentioned before, what you have tried but really hasn't worked is that you may have tried like hustling even harder, right? Chasing the next one, next promotion, next success. No, it wouldn't. It doesn't come from outside. Wait till you're ready. Have enough time, enough money, enough bandwidth. Just wait, postponing. The day will never come if you keep waiting. And the other one is some people, tend to like think your way into clarity and think your way into purpose, aligned life. It's like, let me figure out, like, just a lot of journaling, a lot of thinking, a lot of intellectualizing it. That doesn't work either. You need embodiment. You cannot think your way into alignment. You have to feel your way there. And I'll give you a process to do that. Because if you, all the mentioned, right, what I mentioned about the ways achieving that, it's not working. It's because it's all about seeking external safety versus internal safety. External safety is about right? More money, more time, and more ideas, and more success. No, it's coming from inside. It's those cues of danger, what I said. Things were not safe before, but now preventing you from stepping into your purpose. It's about addressing those so-called cues of dangers and creating that internal safety. And also that it's all about truly embodying your gifts. It's not just thinking and planning and analyzing. Also, is that the think about the way, right? The think about it is like the way the life you're living now is on this side of a cliff. The life you want to live, purposeful, meaningful, just alive, is on the other side of the cliff. You need a bridge to cross the cliff. And this bridge, it cannot be built overnight. It takes your effort, takes it plank by plank, right? Literally need to build it little by little, slowly. So don't expect all of a sudden, I just figure it out. I just know what this thing is. I'm just ready to go for it. No, this process takes time. So, okay, let me share with you the method you can start today. The method is called AIM. Method. M method. It's from aligning from inside out. AIM. A, what is A? A is attune to safety. It's about nervous system regulation in create internal safety. Earlier I talked about the nervous system. The reason why you haven't been able to step into your purpose is because of those 5 fears, those 5 cues of danger, right? Because your nervous system don't think they're safe. And then it activates a stress response. So in that case, it's just like, you know what? It won't allow you to do it. So in order for you to build internal safety, you need to start regulate your nervous system first. And the nervous system regulation, it's a process. It's not something that you are able to achieve overnight, but it's almost like when you go to the gym and I'm going to give you these neural exercises that you can start doing today to start building the muscle. Once you build stronger muscle, then guess what? Stepping into it and those fears, it's going to get less and less triggering. It's going to be less and less fearful. And you are able to do that more and more. That it is by doing this neural exercises on a daily basis to strengthen your ability to regulate your nervous system, meaning that bring the cues of danger when you're activated, bring it down to safety, telling yourself, okay, this is what perceived danger actually is not true. You know what? Let me come back to the present moment, right? All those perceived dangers are projecting the past to the present. But in the present very moment right now, all of you right now, you are safe. Right? You're listening to me right now in front of the computer. Everyone is safe. So much of this work is about exercising that muscle to constantly bring you back to this sense of safety. You are safe in this very moment. And that will allow you. So how do you do that? So simple. 3 practices you can do. Easily accessible. You can do it anytime. Breath, sound, and movement. Breath is something we all have, and it's automatic, right? That's also part of nervous system's miracle keep us alive. That's part of what nervous system help us do to regulate our breath. And also this is something we can manipulate as well. So when you feel your nervous system is activated, and or you don't even need to feel that, just on a day-to-day basis, and have this practice of taking deep breaths. Take deep inhale, you can do with me, and take deep long exhale. Just have the exhale couple seconds longer than the inhale. And do it again. Take a deep inhale and long exhale. Exhale couple seconds longer. Just do that. How do you feel? Just with that 2 breath, I already feel a little bit more relaxed. Just that breaths, deep relaxing breaths. Do that a few times. That's one. Second is sound. 2 sounds you can make. Also comes very naturally to us. One is a deep sigh. Sigh, and or the other one is humming. Just, deep sigh, like Humming is right, just that. This humming sound and deep sigh has incredible ability to calm our nervous system. The next one is movement. The movement, also simple. Either just sway your body from side to side, or just shake it up, or just walk for a few minutes. If you're in the office, walk to the cafe or bathroom, walk back and forth. Or if you have the opportunity to walk outside for a few minutes, that's even better, because combining with nature, that's incredibly calming for your nervous system. So this 3 practices: breath, sound, and movement. Do that on a regular basis. If you can set an alarm, I would highly recommend you, if you're able to do that at least a couple of hours, and just checking with yourself. Say, hey, am I under stress right now? If you're under stress, it's because your nervous system is being triggered, and somehow you perceive some sort of threat. And a lot of times it's completely subconscious, right? You're not even aware. But when you have that moment of pause, when you do that, just do the breath, sound, and movement. You don't have to do all of them at the same time. Just try them and to see which ones tend to be your go-to, to be the one that you're most comfortable with. And then once you do that, and you're strengthening the muscle of regulating your nervous system, then with that, you are going to feel more and more safe within. Then those cues of danger, it's become less and less threatening over time. There's many more. So nervous system regulation is really the foundation of many, many things. And so if you want to dive deeper, you can check out my podcast. Just look up Unshakable Confidence or my name on whichever platform you listen to your podcast. I have a few episodes on nervous system regulation and things like that. So you can dive deeper into that. And the other one is, obviously, I will tell more, is that my one-on-one coaching program, and I teach you step by step how to do that. So this is just the first step, right? As I said, you can not change your nervous system overnight, but it's by doing this gradually, and this is a great first start. So that's the first step, is attune to safety. Once your nervous system is back to regulation, is back to safety, then that's where your prefrontal cortex is online. When you're under stress, your nervous system is in dysregulation, your thinking brain is offline. You cannot think clearly, and you cannot be thinking about what my gifts are. No, you're just thinking about how I'm going to evade the danger at the moment. So once you're calm, once you're grounded, centered, then that's when you can investigate. That's a second is I, right? Investigate what's true. What is true? Your truth is what are your gifts? What are your unique gifts? So how do you find out that? I'll give you a few different ways you can find out. One is just notice. Notice what lights you up. And also notice what puts you to sleep or what really bores you and what just drains your energy. Notice the difference, right? Those things tend to light you up are where your gifts may lie, right? May lie. So that's that. And get curious with that. And sometimes you're like, I don't even know what lights me up because you're just being so busy working and taking care of others. In that case, try things, try small things, try different classes, right? Just 1 hour a week. I'll tell more about how to start small, but just start trying. Take it as experimenting this whole process of discovering and investigating your truth. Take it as a scientific, like a laboratory experiment. Go to the lab, right? There's no failure. Just try. And that's where you're going to get information and get data. So that's one. Second is ask people. Ask people who know you well and close to you, and really someone you trust, because they may know your gifts more than you do. Why? Because your gifts tend to be the things that come easy for you. When it comes to being easy, then you normalize it. You're like, that's no big deal, right? Oh, I'm just a funny person, no big deal. But like, no, that's like, not everybody's funny. You're so hilarious. I have a friend of mine, she has been working on this like boring desk job, but she is so funny. And now she has discovered her gift. Now she's doing stand-up comedy. It's like incredible. I have another friend of mine. So she's also doing like very like analytical project kind of work. But she has incredible good taste, loves beautifying her environment. And now she's doing interior design on the side, right? So your gifts, sometimes you don't even notice, but ask people around you, like what are your gifts are in their eyes. So that's also great data point. Another one, this is an interesting one, is envy. Connect to your envy, right? Really? Because we've been taught like envy is like, oh, if you're envy of someone, that's not good. There's something wrong with you. No. Actually, notice what and who you're envious of. Because envy is not about others. It's about you. It's meaning that you want something. You want the things they have. Right? The type of life they're living, the experience they're having, and that is great information because that will point you to the direction of where your gifts are. And the one thing I want you to note is that what you are good at not necessarily means that's your gifts. Because I think a lot of you, even just including me, right? I worked in corporate environment. That environment was, I was trained to be good at a lot of different things. For instance, one thing I was trained to be really good at, I was very good at analyzing data. And if you give me data, I can look at the data and just really get great insights from that. But it didn't light me up. I didn't love it. I love people. I didn't love numbers that much. I'm good at it, right? So there's a differentiation. What you're good at doesn't mean that's what lights you up. So what you want to find out is what light you up, make you feel like, oh, time just goes by so fast. You don't even realize time's passing. And you feel actually have more energy doing that thing afterwards. So that's that. The next thing, the next step, the M is move. Move is move forward in micro steps. The process of living, stepping into a life with purpose and a life aligned life, it's, as I said, it's not an analytical process. It's not an intellectual process. It's an embodied process. You need to start doing it. But I wouldn't encourage you, nobody, to quit your job overnight. It's a process. You want to start small. You want to do maybe just an hour a week, a side project, right? A creative experiment, and just try it out. Try different things and get information, get data. Also, get your nervous system acclimated to it, because all those cues of danger, and if you just like do big thing, it completely overwhelm it, and then you are just like, oh no, this is too much, I cannot do it. But if you do it gradually, your nervous system will get information. This, right? It's like, oh, it's okay. Oh, okay. You know what? It's I'm safe. I'm not in danger, right? Just keep training your nervous system to get used to it. So I want to share with you my process, right? When I transitioned from corporate to becoming entrepreneur and coach, it didn't happen overnight. It took years. And also how I discovered was that I didn't even know that's what I wanted to do. Because the moment when I realized I wanted to move out of corporate was for a long time I wanted to move out, but in terms of this path was 4 years ago. 4 years ago, and I started to reflect exactly this question: what lights me up? And I did some deep reflection, and I was like, oh, 20 years of my career, the business results, the revenue I've generated, profit I generated, the new products I launched, and this complex projects that I handle, none of those really made any, I would say, emotional impact on me. No. The only thing that made emotional impact on me was people, especially the people on my team, that who I helped them to grow, right? Those are still my friends today. And those are the things truly helping people grow was what lit me up. So with that information, then I thought, okay, with that, how can I do more of that? How can I step into a profession that allows me to do that more? Then I did a bunch of research, look at different information. I'm like, oh, it's coaching. Coaching could be one of them. Then I happen to know a couple of my friends. They did that transition from corporate to coaching. Then I talked to one of them, and that conversation, I still remember exactly what she told me. That completely inspired me. I felt it when she said, wow, the freedom and autonomy she's able to have, also the connections she's able to build with her clients. She just felt like her life is day and night different. That just felt so compelling to me. I felt it in my body. I decided just to sign up for coaching training. That I did all of that when I still had my corporate job. I didn't leave. The point I decided to pursue coaching until I leave was like a 1.5 year process. Right? So then I signed up for coaching training. That training was almost a year. And in that process, I fell in love with coaching, because when I signed up, I only loved the idea of it, right? I didn't even know what exactly coaching was about, and whether I liked it, whether I will be good at it or not, I didn't know until I did it. And during that process, and actually completely changed my life, right? I got to experience the power of coaching. And then with that, I did it on the side. I got certified. I did it on the side for another, I would say, like 6 months or something. And I prepared for it. I had saved enough money. I had a plan. Then eventually, I left corporate. So as you can see, it was a process. It was this building this bridge from where I am now to where I want to be, brick by brick, plank by plank. But one thing led to another. I didn't have all the answers at the beginning, but I followed my curiosity. So that is what I wanted to impart to you too. Don't think you will have all the answers. Just follow those sparks of curiosity. Also, what I want to tell you is that your purpose can evolve as well. Because actually, how many years ago? I would say maybe 8 years ago. Actually, I quit my corporate job once before. I wanted to become a yoga teacher. Well, I was burned out, completely burned out. I like finding another corporate job just wasn't appealing to me at all. And at that time, I was super passionate about yoga. So I decided to open a yoga studio, but that didn't happen. But I became a yoga teacher. I was super passionate about it. I taught yoga full time for a year. Then I was still passionate about yoga for a few years. But then that kind of like purpose like wasn't as purposeful for me anymore. As I grew and as I evolved, things have changed, and that's okay too, right? That's also it's a part of your growth journey. Don't think it's like, oh, once I just have to find this one purpose or this one gift, and I would just have to do it for the rest of my life. No. And everything you learned along the way will help you lead to the next thing. So don't put too much pressure on it. Right? What I expected coaching at the 3 years ago or 2 years ago is completely different from what I'm doing today. And I'm learning new things every single day. How I'm embodying this gift also is evolving and changing on a regular basis as well. The key thing is just keep an open mind, follow your curiosity, keep learning it. And last thing I want to say is that live with a purpose, and stepping into embodying your gifts doesn't mean you have to quit the corporate job. Doesn't mean all of you need to become an entrepreneur, become your own boss and start your own business. No, not at all. Because this entrepreneurship is not for everybody. It's not. And you can find purposeful, meaningful work working for someone else and in an organization, profit or non-profit. It all can be possible. So don't limit yourself. It's like, oh, I can only find my purpose when I become, have my own business. That's not true either. The other thing is also sometimes not everybody need to live, right, embodying their gifts in a full-time job kind of capacity. Some of you, if you like what you do good enough, right, you don't hate what you do, it doesn't drain your energy that much, and after work you still have energy to do things that allowing you to live with purpose, that's also great. You just need some dose of it, and you go to your day job and you do this purposeful, meaningful thing on the side, and that can feel very fulfilling for you. That's wonderful. But for someone like me, no, I wanted to be full time, right? Also, all the jobs that I've done before was just way too demanding. It's impossible for me to do both at the same time. And obviously, it was a choice. But anyhow, my point is that you don't. Living aligned life doesn't mean you have to do this thing with purpose full time. You can do it on part time. You can do it in an organization and working for someone else. Also, you can do it as your own boss, having your own business. So there's no one size fit all. There's no one cookie cutter kind of approach. But the key starts with knowing your truth, regulating your nervous system, right? So you can even listen to your truth. You even have the capacity to investigate it. Once you have the capacity to investigate it, then you move. You experiment. You don't think your way. You cannot think your way into alignment. You need to feel your way to it. You need to move your way to it slowly and gradually. Why this process works? This process really addresses foundational things, right? It honors your biology. Your nervous system is your biology. It honors your uniqueness. Everyone every single person is unique. It brings unique gifts and also honors the pacing. You cannot expect what happen overnight, and it takes time. You just need to show up consistently and holding this North Star in your mind. So when your inside and outside match, right? What your truth, your gifts, and what truly matters to you, meaningful for you, then guess what? Your nervous system would say, oh, I'm safe to be me. That's ultimately what it is. It's safe to be me. When it's safe to be you, you don't have to pretend, you don't have to perform. And that's really where you don't have stress. You don't have this, you don't experience that tension and resistance anymore. With that, that's where your energy, your joy, your vitality, and your impact, your positive impact come from. It's coming from all of that, you embodying your truth and you embodying your gift. Because with that, you will have so much more clarity. You don't feel confused. You don't feel like this struggle or should I do this? Should I do that? Right? You show up with more energy, vitality, confidence, courage, peace, joy, better relationships, and just better everything. For real. Because I'm living this life now. I know the difference. I know the difference, as I said, day and night. And I highly encourage you. You can do it. If I can do it, you absolutely can do it. Just by following what I just said, this process. AIM process. Start it today. With that, you are going to show up and be able to lead powerfully and live authentically. And you are going to become someone who is going to inspire people around you. Okay, so that is the masterclass. Thank you for joining. This is perfect timing. Just before we go, before I close, I just wanted to send a invitation. The invitation, if you find this class helpful and you want to go deeper and you really want to be able to start to embody your gifts and step into your purpose and live this aligned life now as quickly as possible, I can help you with that. And in my one-on-one VIP coaching program, I take you step by step. And through nervous system regulation, emotional mastery, and mindset rewiring, all this fundamental stuff we do and will transform you and have overcome all those fears I talked about. And then you will really become someone who's able to show up, lead powerfully, live authentically, experience so much more joy, peace, and fulfillment in your life. And I invite you to join me the VIP coaching program. And you may wonder, well, coaching, yes, is an investment. You're like, oh, is it going to work for me? Well, that's why I make the next step super simple. Let's just have a conversation. There's no commitment. Just I offer a 1 hour free consultation on this call. It's a clarity call. It's not a sales call. On this call, I'll help you to get clear on where you are now, where do you want to go, and how to get there. And then I'll provide you a personalized support plan. Then at the end of the consultation session, we'll decide, right? If we work together, I'm just beyond honored and thrilled to support you to transform. But if we decide not to work together, you're still going to walk away with powerful insights. So I invite you to book that call now. Don't wait, because the aligned life, the life with purpose, is just one decision away. Just one decision away. You can DM me and let's chat. Okay? Well, and last thing is, I'd love to hear from you from this class. What is this one key takeaway for you? And DMV, and I love to hear from you. With that, thank you for joining again, and have a wonderful rest of the week, and I'll see you next time.